What's up, DC Nation? Welcome back to another video on DC Future States. And today we're checking out Teen Titans number 2, and our last issue left off with Nightwing, Dick Grayson, putting on the Deathstroke mask and releasing Red X. Now, we don't know who Red X is yet, who is under that mask, but now Nightwing is bringing Red X to the Teen Titans, which Starfire is not going to be cool with that. But they're all going to team up against the 4 Riders of Apocalypse. Yeah, guys, there's 4 Riders of Apocalypse causing hell throughout the world, and the Teen Titans are pretty much the world's only hope. They're the last hope. And in this Teen Titans lineup, we got characters like Starfire, we got Cybeast, which is Cyborg and Beast Boy combined, Raven, Amico, which is Red Arrow. We also got like Gorilla Greg, Jakeem Thunder. We got all sorts of cool characters. Also, Shazam is involved in this, which the end of this new issue, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it gets super good, alright? But yeah, guys, enough of this intro. If you're ready, let's dive into Future States Teen Titans number 2. Dick Grayson makes it back to the Teen Titans headquarters. Red X is at his side. Now, Starfire stands. She has all the Teen Titans behind her, or the ones that are left. Now, she looks at Red X, then looks at Dick and says, "What is this, Dick? We're in the middle of the actual end of times, about to fight the 4 Riders of the Apocalypse, who I might add, your friend, Red X, is responsible for unleashing on the world." Dick cuts her off and says, "We're all responsible." Now, Starfire responds saying, "Give me the H-dial. Your judgment is compromised." Now, Dick puts out his hand and says, "You have to trust me, Corey. I know what I'm doing." Now, Starfire responds, "Yeah? Do you know what you're wearing? Deathwing?" Now, moving on. We go to 6 months prior. We see Raven with all the Teen Titans. She looks at the graves of the dead Teen Titans members. She says, "You know what you say right now." Now Shazam right by her says, "I didn't really know him, not well." Now Raven responds, "Miguel was devout and so strong for someone so young. He'd say that when a hero falls, they're never truly gone, that their power, their spirit lives on. It returns to us in time." Now, Starfire says, "They're in our hearts now. Everyone that we've lost, heroes, friends, members of our family." Now, Dick walks up. He says, "Members of our army." Now, Dick walks over to the grave and puts a rose right by Donna Troy's grave. So, Donna Troy's gone, guys. She died. Now, Dick says, "Donna knew what she signed up for, Corey. But Miguel and the rest, they were kids." Now, Starfire says, "They were Titans." Dick stands up and he says, "They might have been if they got a chance. We were supposed to help these kids, to save them. But in the end, we just weaponized them, drafted them into our endless war." Story of my life. Now, Dick begins to walk away. Starfire looks at him and says, "One last lecture, Dick. Is that why you came back?" And Dick turns around and says, "I came back because I found Red X. Or, he found me. This morning, he asked me to lock him up at the safe house." Now, Starfire says, "Good. He's finally taking responsibility for what he helped unleash." Now, Raven looks up and says, "They shouldn't be locked up. He should be out here helping us fight them." Now, Starfire says to Raven, "Rachel, they're too powerful. And look at where we are. Half the population is dead. The League doesn't trust each other, let alone us. What's left of us? We can't beat them. We don't have the numbers." Now, Shazam, he looks and says, "I'm not willing to give up. We're not dead yet." Now, Dick looks at the grave of Miguel Montez and says, "No, we're not." Now, going back to present day, Dick says to Starfire, "Can I talk, please? I haven't worked with Slade in months. You know that." So guys, this confirms that Dick did work with Slade at one point, which is crazy. I actually like to see that story. Now, Dick continues to say, "Red X was my call. He wants to help. And maybe he already has, Corey. There's something you need to hear about the..." Now, Starfire cuts him off saying, "You know what? Fine. Keep the dial. Red X, your death mask, whatever. I'm tired of fighting you, Dick." Now, Starfire stands up even taller and says, "Alright, you all know the plan. Totally Tubular, Brat Girl, Chupacabra, and Gorilla Greg will all stay behind under Jakeem's and Giant Thunderbolt's leadership. If you don't hear from us in 24 hours, it means we're all dead. And you six are the world's last hope. We know you'll be ready for the weight of that responsibility, but trust that if there was any way to help you shoulder it, we would. Now, Totally Tubular, Chupacabra, Baracurl, and Gorilla Greg all look at each other. They're concerned. They remember back then on Halloween, they were with Miguel Montez. They were messing with the H-Dial, and they accidentally caused the 4 Riders of Apocalypse to be unleashed on the worlds. They were in on making this all happen on accident, and now they might be the world's only hope if the big Teen Titans die like Starfire and Nightwing. So they're very worried. Now moving on, we see Raven. She goes over to Red X. She says, "You got what you wanted. You made the team. Happy?" Now Red X looks back and says, "Don't I look happy?" Now Starfire grits her teeth. She says, "Time to go, Raven." And that's when Beast Boy says, "Hey, Meeks." And Cyborg says, "You ready for this?" Now that's when all the Teen Titans go through a portal that Raven opens up. They all make it through, and Amiko says, "No, Cybeast, I am absolutely not ready for." Now we see all the 4 Riders of Apocalypse: War, Pestilence, Death, and Famine. We see that Pestilence is taking over Roundhouse, which I was wondering. I was like, where the heck is Roundhouse? Well, he's taken over by Rider of Apocalypse. And we already know that Wally, he's taken over by Famine. Now we see Shazam there. He's been fighting them off, but he's with all the Teen Titans. Now they're going to fight off against all these 4 Riders of Apocalypse. Now, Dick goes up to Wally. Dick remembers fighting off Wally when he got controlled by the Rider of Apocalypse, Famine. When Dick almost died, Wally grabbed him, was going to suck his soul away, take his life force. But Raven stopped Wally, or stopped Famine. We're just going to call him Famine, because Wally at this point is dead. He's gone. This is just full-on Famine. Now, Dick, with the Deathstroke mask on, looks at Famine again. This is their second encounter. Now, Raven says, "I said she was going to hit him back again. She's not going to let Famine kill Dick." But that's when Wally comes through. He says, "But it's me, Rachel. It's Wally. I need your help." Now Raven, she hesitates for a moment, but that's when she shouts, "Wally is dead. You killed him, and I'm here to make you pay for it." Now Famine unleashes Bastard Shazam, comes out of left field, and hits Famine into a wall. He says, "I got this." Now Red X and Dick catch Shazam, and Shazam says, "You have to be fast with that one. One more second here, I've starved you all. What's with the squad, Miss Raven? I thought you'd be alone." Now Miko responds, "Where's the Spear of Destiny, Billy?" And Shazam says, "Destroyed, as expected. Do you not know the plan?" And that's what Miko says, "Why does everybody keep not telling me the plan?" And Shazam says the spear was just a lure. Now that we've got the 4 together, Miss Raven's gonna tether herself to them, then lock them in the only prison we think we can hold them, the Rock of Eternity. Now Miko says, "The Rock? Is that a prison?" And Shazam says, "You have no idea." Now that's when Beast Boy says, "You think it'll hold them? Who's gonna make sure it does?" And Cyborg pretty much tells Beast Boy Shazam's going to stand guard for the rest of time. Now Beast Boy responds, "Wait, we knew about all this? How is that even possible?" And Cyborg says, "We'll discuss it later." Now that's when Amiko, she gets her bow and arrow ready. She says, "Shazam, not Billy. You mean you're gonna stay like this forever?" And Shazam responds, "When I'm Billy, my power resides in the rock. But we can't risk the riders getting control of it. So, no changing back." And Dick responds, "We're wasting time." Red X gets ready. He says, "This is gonna get ugly, Miss Raven. You good?" And Raven says, "Just keep him busy." Now the Teen Titans charge the 4 Riders of Apocalypse. And Starfire, leading them, says, "Titans, together!" Now so we see Crush. She punches Roundhouse in the face. She says, "Roundhouse was my friend, you vomiting freak." Now that's when we see Cybeast. He gets his legs cut off by Famine, and he starts screaming. But that's what he says, "Just kidding, regeneration is one of the perks of being half machine." Cyborg says, "Or half Zarnian." And that's when we see Crush. She walks forward. She says, "Booyah." Now so we see Famine. He gets hit by all these red arrows. And he looks back, he sees a Miko Queen. She's ready to go. She says, "That was for Wallace." And this is, but we see Famine. He runs as fast as he can using Wally's powers. He grabs onto Amiko and drains her life force. She falls to the ground dead. With Amiko dead on the floor, Starfire looks down. She says, "Amiko, we have to fall back." Now Dick Grayson stands up and says, "No, we need to give Raven more time, just now." That's when War, one of the Riders of Apocalypse, starts taking control of Red X and Dick. Now they serve him. And Starfire's like, what the heck is happening? She's like, ah, crap. Now she has to deal with Red X and Dick Grayson and these 4 Riders of Apocalypse. Now, she doesn't do that good because she gets controlled as well. So the 4 Riders of Apocalypse just start taking control of people. But that's when we see Dick Grayson and Red X get control of themselves again. Now, Red X says, oh man, my head, he was inside. And Dick responds, it's okay. His attention's diverted now. We're gonna have to step it up. We see Pestilence and War attacking Bunker. Bunker is trying to hold him off. Bunker being one of the Teen Titans. Now, Red X goes up to Dick. And Dick is about to use the H dial. He's not supposed to use it now. But Dick is like, hey, we have to do this. This is our only chance. And Red X is like, no. Red X actually stops Dick from making a terrible mistake. Now, that's when Dick decides to go with what Red X is saying. He runs forward. He says, Bunker, I need some equipment. Now, Bunker creates some platforms for Dick to swing on and make it across the field. Now, so Shazam, he's fighting back. And he says, look out, Nightwing, they got Crush and Cybeast. So now Cybeast and Crush are controlled by the Riders of Apocalypse. A bunch of the Teen Titans are controlled. And there's only a few of them that are fighting off. And they're trying to pretty much distract these Riders of Apocalypse so that Raven can do what she has to do. So that she can tether next to them. Now, Dick almost gets hit by Pestilence. He says, never mind them, Billy. We just have to give Raven enough space to... Oh no. We see 2 of the Riders of Apocalypse about to hit Raven. Red X is in front of her. Raven says, it's almost time. Get Starfire out of here. Red X responds, I'm not leaving you. And Raven says, oh yes you are. Azeroth, that's when she flies off and Red X is blasted back. He says, damn it. Now, we shift to Dick. He's above Bunker. Bunker says, Raven, I can put a wall between her and Red X looks back. He says, no. If you block her, she can't tether them. And this will all have been for nothing. Grayson, now. Dick runs over. And he pulls out the H dial. He says, Titans, right? And Red X responds, Titans. That's when we see Red X, he runs. And Dick actually has the Red X mask in his hand. Red X took off the mask. We are about to see who's under this mask. This man, he runs up to the Riders of Apocalypse. He says, look, it's me. You know who I am, don't you? Yeah, I thought so. Now, Crush, she looks up. She says, what is happening? What's he doing? Dick says, they have a bond, he and the host, who brought the Riders to our door. Now, Bunker says, the host? You mean? Now, we go back then, 6 months ago. Bunker says, they're right there, under our noses the whole time. Starfire says, how can we not see it? And Nightwing says, Red X did. But for some reason, he thought the Titans were a bigger danger than the 4. I swear, if I ever find him. And Raven says, it was wrong. But he only did what he did out of concern for the team. Now we go back to the present day and Starfire says, Dick, what is he doing? And Dick, still with the Deathstroke mask on, responds, making amends. X understands the part he played in bringing on this apocalypse. And that this is the part he has to play to end it. Now Starfire, she looks up. She says, by using H-Dial? How will that distract them from Raven long enough to... Now Dick cuts her off saying, it's not just an H-Dial. Not anymore. Now Starfire says, I don't understand. And Dick looks at Red X charging at the 4 Riders of Apocalypse. He says, he does. He told me the kids somehow modified it. The thing on Halloween. Starfire responds, Halloween? What? Dick, what is he doing? And Dick says, dialing up the cavalry. 8, 4, 8, 2, 6, 7. Titans, together one last time. Now so we see Red X. He's standing tall. He says, hello, old friends. We see Wally West. We see Don Detroit. We see this whole army of Titans who are basically like ghosts now. Just show up and go to attack the 4 Riders of Apocalypse. Guys, this is freaking dope. This is so cool, actually. They all attack. It's a whole army. Like, this is really like the last stand of the Titans. Now, Raven pulls through with the final part of the plan. She says, Equitus, Egoth, Dominion. She unleashes all his power. Now, Red X, he gets slashed. Blood comes out of his chest. The 4 Riders of Apocalypse are going to try to kill him. Now, the other Teen Titans watch this. Crush says, holy freaking frackin'. Oh, what was that? And Cybeast says, Miguel said, When a hero falls, their power, their spirit lives on. Now Dick holds Starfire close, he says, and in time returns. And Starfire says, I thought he was being nice. And Dick looks up. He says he was. He was also telling us something important about the Heroverse. Something X and the other kids found out the night they hacked the H-Dial. Now Bunker looks down, he says, they're never truly gone. Now we see Raven, after using all her power, she falls from the sky. And that's the Shazam. He catches her. He holds her close. He says, Miss Raven? Now Sir Raven wakes up. She's smiling. The 4 Riders of Apocalypse are in her now. She begins to go crazy, guys. Like, she is possessed now. Now, Shazam looks back and he sees all the Teen Titans getting controlled. They're now being controlled with all of this darkness. Now, the only one that isn't is Bunker. Bunker's like, Santa Maria. He's like surprised. Now, Shazam says, Miss Raven. And Raven says, it's the Riders, Billy. I have them. They're part of me now. But it's all unkindness. You have to hurry. And Shazam looks. He says, guide me, Zeus. Azeroth, Menturon, Synthos. Now he unleashes all his power and pushes Raven through a portal. By doing this, all the other Teen Titans, they stop being controlled by the darkness. Bunker is barely saved. We see Shazam. He makes it to the Rock of Eternity. He walks through this gate. He holds Raven in his hands. He says, don't worry, Miss Raven. Nothing can escape the Rock of Eternity. Not as long as I'm standing guard. Now, that is how we end Future State's Teen Titans number 2. So that was Future State Teen Titans number 2. And guys, this issue was really good. I really enjoyed it. This issue was written by Tim Sheridan and drawn by Hoffa Sandoval. Now, the writing by Tim Sheridan, I thought it was really good. The dialogue for each characters, and then how the setting was, like the pacing of the issue is really good. We got to see the past, the present. We got to actually see a lot of stuff happen in just a little 22-page comic book. Like, usually this much content and this much, like, plot development happens in maybe a couple issues. But actually, Tim Sheridan found a way to put a lot into one comic and make it an epic conclusion, which I really liked. That was cool. Now, I know a lot of you guys in the last issue, you thought that the jump between, like, past and present was kind of jarring, which I could agree with you there. Like, it could be jarring at times. You can be at one moment, and that moment's teeing you up with, like, a conversation that jumps to the past. But while it does feel jarring, I still feel like the jump to the past gives, like, what's happening in the present a lot of context and makes it more interesting. Now, the artwork by Hoffa Sandoval, really amazing. Like, guys, his artwork was phenomenal throughout. Now, some things I want to talk about. First off, the ending with Shazam. Shazam getting Raven, and he's going off. Now Shazam number 1, Future State Shazam number 1, makes a lot more sense. Because that issue was good. I enjoyed it, but at the same time, I was a little confused. But now I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That's why Shazam was at the Rock of Eternity. Like, it connects, which is good. But the only complaint I have is why not release this issue before Shazam number 1 so readers can have a better, like, understand what's going on in Shazam number 1. Like, I feel like DC did this a little wrong. The story itself by Tim Sheridan is really good. Just, like, DC with the whole Future State lineup, I feel like they're doing this with the other stories as well. Like, we'll talk about more in my Robin Eternal video coming up. But Future State having all these titles coming out, but then some issues reference other issues that are coming out 2 weeks later. So it's like, okay, you referenced that issue, but I don't know what happens yet. And then when you get to that issue, you're like, oh, that makes sense. But now I gotta reread that other issue. It makes the whole story very confusing. Where what I think they should have done is had Future State Teen Titans number 1 through 2 in January. Then did Shazam in February. Now, having Flash in the middle of that, I'm fine with that. Because that's like its own story, and it's more about Wally West and Barry and stuff. It's not like super necessary here. Like, yeah, it's important, but if you miss, you won't be confused while reading that story. You can still read as a standalone. Whereas Shazam, that series, there's something missing here, and it was this issue. So I feel like DC should have marketed this a little better, but hey, maybe they'll do it better next time. But what I am excited for is Teen Titans Academy. That, I'm going to pre-order that once I wonder if pre-orders are like out already, but I'm going to pre-order that. I'm super excited for that because the ending of this and then seeing how Team Sheridan handled the Teen Titans, he has a good idea what the Teen Titans are, and that whole sequence of all, like, the ghost stuff, the Teen Titans showing up, like, Wally, Don, Troy, it was so freaking dope. It was an amazing moment. And yeah, I'm so excited for the Teen Titans comic coming out in March. Like, see all the stuff that led up to this point. Like, that's gonna be really cool. Now, one other thing I want to talk about, actually two other things. One, the unkindness. Now, when that was referenced in this issue by Raven, I was like, oh my gosh. The reason I'm saying that is because the unkindness is the villain in the Future State Black Adam series, right? Or the backup story. The unkindness has the 7 deadly sins. They have, like, Vandal Savage. It has all these evil forces, and they're going up against, like, the Justice League 1 million, right? With, like, Superman 1 million. Like, I'll actually link down below in the description my video on that, but that was a really cool story, and see that is actually the future of what's going on here is a really good connection. It actually gets me excited to see what is going to happen in that story. So I like that little connection. It's a quick, like, throwaway line, but I think it's very important. Now, my last thing I want to talk about is Red X. He wasn't really revealed, like, took off his mask, but we didn't really get, like, a name reveal. I think he's just going to be one of the Teen Titans, the new Teen Titans, and the new book coming out. That's it. He's not going to be an older character. It's not going to be like Clown Hunter or Damian Wayne, nothing like that, which honestly, I'm fine with. If they can build his character into something interesting and make it awesome, I'm cool with that. And so far, I'm liking him. That whole sequence where he goes at the Riders of the Apocalypse and just charges at them, I really like that sequence. That gets me excited to see Red X in the future. But yeah, guys, overall, I'm going to give this issue an 8.5 out of 10. I recommend it. Check it out. And yeah, guys, tell me your thoughts on this issue down below. If you liked the video, give a big thumbs up. New to the channel, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on my next DC Future State video. Alright, we got a lot coming up, guys. The next DC Future State video I'll be releasing is Robin Eternal #2. That issue is really good, so stay tuned for that. But I'm trying to pump out all these videos for you, so by the end of February, I'm going to do a complete Future State video. Like, every single title in order from, like, the beginning of 2025 to, like, the end of time with, like, Immortal Wonder Woman. Like, that'll just make it very condensed, and then you guys will probably understand the whole Future State events a lot better, right? I hope you will. So it'll get you set up for Infinite Frontier. There's a lot of stuff happening at DC, and I'm stoked. But, yeah, guys, thanks for watching. And peace out.